Roger Mayne was a very influential and much loved social documentary photographer who really pioneered the documentary image as an art form in the post-war period. The last big show of his work was in 2017, and so this is really an opportunity to see a wonderful body of 60 plus works by the photographer, including the work for which he's most famous, which is street photography from the 1950s. But equally, the exhibition includes little known work from 1962 onward, works that he took in Spain on his honeymoon that are among his best, and later images of his family that are really almost unknown, but are wonderfully rich and have a different tenor to the earlier street photography because of his intimacy with his subject. On entering the gallery, the visitor comes face to face with some of Roger Mayne's most celebrated works of street photography in London from 1954 onwards. 1954, 56, he discovered Southam Street, which was a revelation to him. Southam Street is on in the borough of Kensington, on the northern borders of Notting Hill, where it meets the Harrow Road. And Roger Mayne was living nearby, and he came across the street and was blown away by the vitality of the children, of young people animating the streets, and people talking against this wonderful backdrop of dilapidated architectural Victorian facades. The deprivation was something that Mayne had to experience, but the life on the street was just full of energy, and he was really drawn to photographing children and young people playing in the street, in the case of young people, very young children, but adolescents too were involved in a kind of play. Mayne really related to the vitality and the energy and the play of bodies, almost to the extent that his work appears choreographed. And he indeed thought of his photographs as dramatizations with the street like a stage. He took 1,400 photographs over an extended period of time in Southam Street, which means that he's really unique within the history of photography in Britain in doing that. And really, that body of work is a forerunner to later work where artists really embedded themselves in communities in order to make more meaningful photographs. In post-war Britain, the teenager was really a new phenomenon, and people were fascinated by kind of this new entity that was posing and posturing and dancing and listening to music and strutting their stuff on the street. And Mayne, of course, was kind of equally enraptured by their subject matter, and there was tremendous appetite to see these images that Mayne had taken. These pictures of young people, this was really an important part of the drama of the street, and for Mayne, they were playing just as much as the young people who were skipping and playing football in their younger years. And it's important to know that this show, all but 3 photographs were printed by Mayne himself, and that was part of photography that he really enjoyed and was really important to him. So there's incredible richness and variation in the prints that are selected here. It was really important to me that this exhibition includes work that Mayne did at this later point in his career that focuses on his own family. And he envisaged this work to be a very richly illustrated book. He saw it as an exhibition project. But in fact, these works are little known, but really deserve more attention. They have a very particular moving quality. There's a wonderful image of Mayne himself with his daughter, in the first year of her life. She's swaddled in a blanket. He's pictured himself very proud, clearly, of being a father. And there's a lovely element of warmth and humour because he's kind of half dressed, and you can see his sort of knobbly knees in this photograph. I think often photographer's personal work doesn't get the attention that it deserves, but as I say, Mayne wanted this work to be, or thought of this work as being just as significant as his earlier street photography. So it's just been a real delight to be able to bring this work together in this show with the more well-known street photographers.